A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Joining with the www.thepapare.com, Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub, bringing you up live actions from the Havelock Park, where Havelock Sports Club taking on CHNFC. Joining with me in commentary, Abdullah Yusuf. Good evening, Abdullah.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, it's a good and dry day today at the moment at Havelock Sports Club. Both teams going through their warm-up routines. Havelock's coming into this game on the back of 2 defeats, so no doubt they'll be looking to turn that around, while CH on the other hand, after going through some tough early round games, pulling an upset up in Velisara last week, so no doubt that will give them a lot of confidence. So 2 teams coming into this game with contrasting fortunes, and I think overall it'll be an entertaining game today.
Exactly, and also especially talking about the last week's game CHNFC played against Navy Sports Club, where Hirsha Sampath managed to make a big upset against Navy Sports Club by converting successfully 2 penalties, where it brought the success to CHNFC as well. And weather forecast for the day: maximum temperature 29 degrees Celsius, might be vary along with a minimum number of 26, and wind speed 12 kilometers per hour. Looks a bit partially cloudy, but yet you can't exactly say anything until the game kicks off. And also maybe a bit lucky day for the kickers, not much wind at Havelock Park here. As well, Havelock Sports Club looking for that glory win today after 2 defeats against Police Sports Club. Also after a big upset against CRNFC in the Matthews Trophy as well.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sure they'll be happy to be back at Havelock Park. Playing at home is always an advantage for most teams, and Havelocks generally do tend to play well here. So there is absolutely no doubt that they will be wanting to put that record of the defeat of the last 2 games right in today's encounter. But CHNFC on the other hand, just probably have to say, may have turned the corner. They've been pretty abysmal in that first round. Really the resources and the squad depth they have with them, they should be really pushing the top 3 place at the very least, but that just hasn't been the case. They've put in some pretty mediocre performances, but let's just hope for their sake and for the competition as a whole that that last week's victory against Navy in Velisara will just give them the confidence they need to kick on from here for the rest of the league.
Exactly, yeah. So that's it from the Combox for the moment. Let's be back after a quick commercial break.
වෙඩින් එකට තාම හොටෙල් එකවත් බුක් කරලා නැහැනේ.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම් සිදු.
අලු සීට් එකක් දැම්ම නම් නරකයි.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම්. දෙකින් දෙන්නම්. දෙකින් දෙන්නම්. දෙකින් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න නම් දෙකෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, a Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
Ceylon personal loan? කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with a heart.
The 6 Nations, where emotion flows, pride bursts, and talent soars.
Wow, absolute wow.
Watch 6 Nations on Rugby Pass TV.
A tradition that dates back over a century. Chaos that captures your heart and soul. An extravaganza you cannot miss. A new decade of familiar madness. March Madness 2020. Exclusive coverage on ThePapare.com.
අපි කමිටුවක් පත් කරනවා. ඒ කමිටුවේ ප්‍රතිඵල ඔබතුමාලාට ළඟදිම ලැබෙන්න සලස්වනවා. තා මොනවාරි ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවද?
රුපියල් 5කින් මොනවද කරන්න පුළුවන්?
There is nothing quite like the Six Nations, where emotion flows, pride bursts, and talent soars.
Wow, absolute wow.
Get caught up in the tournament that stops the nations.
You cannot take your eyes off this game for a moment. It's a fairy tale finish.
Watch Six Nations on Rugby Pass TV.
රුපියල් 5කින් මොනවද කරන්න පුළුවන්?
5කින්
Welcome back to the live action from the www.thepapare.com, Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub, and bring you these live images from Havelock Park, Havelock Sports Club taking on CHNFC. So Abdullah, it's going to be a nail-biting encounter, in other words, and let's have a look at the last week results, where CHNFC took on Air Force Sports Club. Ended pretty fairly in favour of CHNFC, where they ended up 53 points to 15.
Yeah, that's right. I think that was always on the cards. CRNFC just running away with that game. Air Force just didn't seem to have the quality to match up to CRNFC's outfit. So pretty convincing victory for CRNFC, which was on the cards nonetheless. And I'm sure that will give them a lot of confidence as well. The second game is the one where it's drew a lot of interest, especially in the context of today's game. It was always going to be a tight encounter, but Police, with the entry of their key player, Vunisova, I thought he had a huge impact on Police's performance, eventually running out 34 points to 28. But from Havelock's point of view, I don't think they'll probably be disappointed with the result. But I thought overall their performance was satisfactory. They managed to discover a very good place kicker in Santosh Algama at the fullback position. Put 3 good penalties, which kept them in the game. But eventually Police just having a bit too much, playing in their home grounds, and ring up 34-28. And of course the upset of what you'd have to say probably of week 10 was the win by CHNFC up in Velisara. I don't think anyone probably foresaw that coming, but they really put in a very good performance. It was a very tight encounter, but eventually just managing to pip Navy at Velisara, which is never an easy task. 26 points to 25. And of course, proceedings ending with Kandy, a relatively comfortable 36 points to 26 victory. The scoreline doesn't quite reflect how dominant Kandy was, probably taking their foot off the accelerator as that game went on.
And there you see the points table, where Kandy Sports Club still unbeaten with 58 total points in the table, and CRNFC on the second. Police Sports Club trying to come to that second place by only trailing by 2 points against CRNFC, and Havelock Sports Club still on fourth place, and Army Sports Club, Navy Sports Club, CHNFC and Air Force Sports Club trying to come up to that ladder and make it to the top 4. That's going to be a hard task in the season as well. And news coming in from Police Park today, where Police Sports Club have managed to go against Police Sports Club managed to go against Air Force Sports Club, and maybe they might have gone through to the second place for the moment until the CRFC game played tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. I think it will be a very important game for CH in that context, just to give them that cushion to try and make sure they go into that fourth place. We'll come back to that later. So as we approach the 11th week, Janindo Dilshan continues to head the tries table with 12 tries. I thought him being moved to that wing 3 position seems to have given him a bit more freedom to put the finishing touches to whatever Sia's moves has been, and it's paid off to a certain extent. And of course, Taninder Ratwata continues to head the points tally in this Dialog League with 84 points. His overall kicking performance has been very good, in addition to moving to that inside centre position, form a very strong combination with his skipper Nigel Ratwata. So those are the leading points scorers in terms of tries and overall points.
And having a look at the last Met, where CHNFC took on Havelock Sports Club, it was a fair game in between both the teams there. Not much discipline showed by CHNFC as well. So that's where CHNFC lacking their performance and lacking their momentum in this Dialog Rugby League 2020 and 2019. They don't have that stable lineups and the stable names on their list as well, Abdullah.
Yeah, that's right. But at the same time, they've got so much young talent, as we see here. Randy Silva just putting the finishing touches to a good 3-quarter move. They've got some exciting young talent, and what they have done is they've just played together extremely well. They have gelled extremely well, and that's the reason why they find themselves in that fourth position, despite not losing so many players during the off-season. And in this game as well, just at the crucial moments, whenever CH seemed to be getting back into the game, Havelock's just managing to pull themselves together and just kept on extending this lead. And this is another 2 experienced campaigners combining in Gayan Veeratna and Nishon Pereira to put the finishing touches. And of course, again, another fantastic driving maul. Azmir Fajuddin putting the finishing touches to that driving maul, and this is how it ended that first round encounter. 27 points to 13 in favor of Havelocks, but I think CH probably will put up a much better performance today. They seem to have just got a bit of momentum as the season progresses. As I mentioned previously, during that first round, they were just completely off color. But as this tournament has progressed, probably yet trying to figure out what their best combinations are.
So having a look at the Havelock Sports Club team card for the day. Forwards starting up with Zayan Sabah, Azmir Fajuddin, Charana Tamika. Good big 3 numbers coming in for Havelocks today. And also Ganindo Lakshan, Umesh Madhusan, Christian Dili will be the next 3 in the forward list. And Senal Dilaka and Shaukat Lahir will be that major X-factor impact in Havelock Sports Club forwards line as well. And the backs, Mithun Hapagoda, the skipper, starting after a long time for Havelock Sports Club, and Sandesh Davikrama, the experienced kicker for the moment for Havelocks, and Randy Silva, Lochana Girihagama, Dinushan Aryapala, Kavinda Kaushan, and the fresh Santush Algama is there in the list as well. Replacements: Faiz Abdullah, Tanuja, Dilanka, Malisha, Ramash, Shanaka. Prince Chamara is there on the bench, starting from the bench today, and Imanka will be playing for Havelock Sports Club. Will be starting from the bench rather. And CHNFC, the Gymkhana Club forward Satyarana Tunga, the big numbers, Prasad Madhusanka and the ex-Havis campaigner Dushmanta Priyadarshana will be playing against his previous club, and Dimitri Vijayatunga, Nizran Nilar, the experienced schoolboy coming in after St. Peter's colours last year, and Matisha Sarachandra, Sudarshana Mututantri and Chatra Dilshan, the experienced number 8, where he played his school season on 2015. Mohammad Abzal, Rohit Rajapaksha, the skipper, Chamara Dabare, Kushan Indunil, Gayan Veeraratna, Tivanka Ratnayak and Hirusha Sampath will be taking the proceedings off in favour of CHNFC. Replacements coming in: Khalidun Nandila, Dinendra, Shehan, Hiranta, Pulasti, Nivanka, Sahir and Warren Virakon will be in charge of the replacements, the bench rather, for CHNFC. All set for the kick-off. They are going to have the initial lineup just before the match.
Yes, there were some interesting changes in the lineups. Christian Delisle, the former Thomian skipper, making his way to that third row, and Shaukat Lahir, who has been brilliant for Havelocks this season in that number 7 position, moves to the number 8 position. So that's an interesting positional switch. It'll be interesting to see how that works out. But you can see that Havelocks are pretty adamant on giving a lot of the young players as much exposure as possible, which is extremely commendable. And also, from CH's point of view, it's interesting to see Mohammad Abzal coming into that number 9 position. I believe it's his first game this season, as those are match officials for the Dilum Dishan, the referee. Priyanta Gunaratna will be assisting him along with Pradeep Indika. So some interesting tactical substitutions by both coaches. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out in the overall scheme of things. It'll be interesting to see especially how that CH third with Lahir moving to that number 8 position. He's been extremely destructive at the open side, but they decided to try him out at number 8, and that'll be an interesting switch overall. So I think in this game also they seem to have, the CH NFC team seem to have strengthened their forward pack by including Dimitri Vijayatunga in that lock position, just to carry that extra bit of weight. Probably they do feel that this CH scrum can pose a bit of threat to them. So in that respect, I'm sure they will be looking forward to try and not just contain, but even try and impose some dominance on that rather inexperienced Havelocks 8.
Off your screen, the team huddle of Havelock Sports Club, as well as Havelock didn't have their best games in the previous 2 games. Abdullah talking about the Police Sports Club game, where they had to play with 14 men at the end of the game, where Navin Henakankanamge had to go off the ground with a red card, taking down the experience and the ex-factor of Police Sports Club, Imosi Munivosa, tackling him and landing him on the head, said the referee, and he was a bit rough and tough at that time, giving him a red card for Navin Henakan Kanamge and putting down Havelock Sports Club for 14 men. And also CRNFC, the game against CRNFC, the Matthews Trophy. CRNFC trailed initially, and they managed to come back with a great victory to get the Matthews Trophy home.
Yes, just shows the importance of discipline. Navin Hinakan Kanamge in that last game, in the 30th minute of the first half, decided to put a spear tackle on Police's Police's Fijian import, and so basically 50 minutes of that game Havelocks had to play with 14 players. So as Rohit Rajapaksha kicks this game off, it's collected by Zaba, who takes the ball into contact. Hapugoda just looks around, and there we find again Madhushankar carrying the ball forward. CH defense just good enough to move into place.
Mithun Hapugoda looking for option. He'll be waiting for that cheeky kick. There you see good clearance kick coming in favour of Havelock Sports Club. Madhushankar, the man with the break, trying to manage it to get it down safe. Knock on, says the referee.
So nice little start by Havelocks. Good box kick by Hapugoda gave his chasers just enough time to put enough pressure on the CH's back three and resulting in CH knocking the ball forward. So now this is going to be an interesting aspect of the game. Vastly experienced tight five of CH and FC against a rather youthful, wouldn't call totally inexperienced, but youthful Havelock's tight five. Be interesting to see how that set piece battle pans out. And looks like we'll be having an early contest, just 1.5 minutes into this game.
So exactly, that's where Mithun Hapugoda's experience is being used in this game, where he didn't start the proceedings initially in this game, in this season, but when he starts the game, that's where the major changes and Havelock's performance went upside down, and most of the games ended in favor of Havelock Sports Club as well.
Yeah, that's right, and it looks like the initial drive by CH and FC, they have been penalized already, so probably a bit over-eager to impose their dominance on this CH and FC 8, resulting in them conceding a penalty, and Algama has found a wonderful touch just about 15 meters away from the try line. As I welcome Shanaka Amarasinghe to the commentary box. Good afternoon, Shanaka.
Good afternoon, Abdullah. Important match for Havelocks, especially at home. Trying to avoid 3 losses on the bounce. That's going to be terrible news for them if that happens. It's a possibility, but CH will have to play much better than they have been playing in the last few games. Goes to the back. Senal Dilaka. Ganindu Lakshan peels away. And Zayan Sabah trundles this towards the line. Gets good headway. It's quick ball available for Mithun Hapugoda. Straight through. No stopping Mithun Hapugoda from that distance. A wonderful burst from the Havelock skipper. And Zayan Sabah made a good run and made the ball available, and that presentation meant everything. CH's defense never recovered, and Hapugoda was always going to finish.
Wonderful back peel on that line out, just resulting in Heavies rather managing to put the CH defense on the back foot. Where, as you said, the presentation was wonderful. It was nice, clean out. And we all know Hapugoda along those fringes, so close to the try line, how dangerous he can be. And didn't need a second invitation to put the finishing touches. So just the start that Havelocks wanted. And CH and FC will now have to try and get on the scoreboard as soon as possible. Sandesh Jayavikrama makes no mistake with the conversion. So 7 points to 0 it is in favor of Havelock Sports Club.
It's interesting to see what Mithun Hapugoda brings to the base when he starts the game, Abdullah. So Coach Sanath Martis has opted for him this time. Perhaps it was injury that kept him out previously. Here's Zaba, good run from him. Eventually brought down by Satya Hettige. And here's the ball, he shows it, he holds it in both hands when he runs at the defense. That's what makes the difference. And the defense always looking, they were stretched, so they were looking outside. And Mithun Hapugoda always want to spot a gap.
Yeah, that's right, but again, you have to say that it was poor defensive effort by CH and FC. They really needed to keep the fringes tight. That's always the first priority before you look out wide. But it was not the case.
Shaukat Lahir now. A little bit more confidence. Havelocks would have settled their nerves after that early score. Long ball out from Sandesh Jayavikrama, whose distribution has improved this season. Sudarshan Mudutantri goes in after the ball as is his want. He's made something of a speciality in that area. Hapugoda standing at first receiver that time. Charana Chamikara back in the starting lineup for Havelocks, returning from injury and showing exactly why as well. Taking Satyaranatunga with him on an 8-meter charge, and here they go through. Umesh Madhushan got 2-on-1. Lovely hands from Madhushan. Unselfish play from the second row, and Arya Parla will go over. So Havelock's second try in 2 minutes. Wonderful work from the Havelock's players. Really good body positions in the way they attacked those contacts. And what a brilliant try to be finished by the center after a superb burst from the prop and then the second row.
Yeah, that's right. You have to again just question the breakdown defense of CH and FC. It's virtually non-existent, isn't it? You always got to have your player at that post position, but there's absolutely no one there. Both all defensive players of that CH and FC moving to the fringes, no one holding the post, and Madhushan just good enough to identify that space, drawing it brilliantly and passing on to Aryapal to put the finishing touches. So this is just the start that Havelocks wanted at their home ground. And with the conversion to come, so far comfortably placed, 12 points to 0.
Well, Sevu Rees may want to have a bit of a look at Madhushan's decision making. The Havelock second rower doing a little bit better than the All Black winger this afternoon against the Crusaders. Botched a certain 2-on-1 with Jack Goodhue outside him, but that's, if anybody's watching at home, young kids, that's how you finish off a 2-on-1. Well done from Umesh Madhushan, and well done from Sandesh Jayavikrama as well, who curls that in inside the right post, and Havelock's going to a commanding lead, 14 points to nil, with just a few minutes on the clock. So CH will have to make sure they get back quickly and figure out their defense if this isn't going to be a long evening for them. There's a haze running across the ground, Abdullah. I think we can see it on our screens now as well. Really terrible air quality here at Havelock's. Not due to the Havelocks, of course, but there's something being burnt in an adjoining land, I think, and maybe at the Pedris Park behind us. But it really is not great for players who are sucking in big gulps of air here, playing their rugby. Not great for the spectators either. It's becoming a bit of a bane here in Colombo City. As Sudarshan Mudutantri carries forward, but again, inaccuracy of the passing leads to CH conceding the ball just inside Havelock's territory.
Yes, but wonderful rush defense by Havelocks as well. Constantly hitting the CH attackers behind the gain line, not giving them any front football whatsoever. So CH just don't seem to be on their game today, at least so far, while Havelocks, by contrast, seem to have just absolutely seem to be up for today's game.
Certainly do. You can see it in their step, can't you, Abdullah? I mean, it was a good game last week, Havelocks versus Police, but somehow this Havelock side seems a little bit more focused, a little bit more committed. A couple of positional changes for them as well. Got Shaukat Lahir going into number 8. And you have Christian Delisle coming in, making his Havelock's start. On the flank, the former Thomian captain. So he will be desperate to grab that opportunity with both hands and try and make use of the absence of Lasindu Ishan Karanathilaka, still out with an ankle injury. Spoke to him last evening, Abdullah, and he says he wants to play, but he's only 23 years old and can't afford to take a risk with that ankle joint.
Yeah, that's right. We're talking pre-game as well, how that positional shift of Lahir has been so effective in that open side flanker position, moving to the number 8. It's not an area where he's unaccustomed to. He has played there for Royal during his school play going days. But whether they will miss him to what extent in that open number 7 position will be left to be seen. Now, it seems to be having a small break here because Shanika mentioning about the haze. Even referee Dilum seems not too comfortable in allowing the players to carry on in these conditions.
Yes, terrible conditions indeed, and this could do untold damage to the players' lungs. It's probably burning a few packs of cigarettes. It really has to be something that the Colombo municipal authorities look in, this burning of garbage. Ooh, that's a huge hit. Massive hit. We'll come back and have a look at that. I'm sure Mithun Hapagura doesn't seem too bad. But it was Gayan Veeraratna, I think, who put that hit in on his former Sevens teammate. Hapagoda still recovers to put the kick in. It's beautifully weighted, and that's lovely hands, but just not going into the breadbasket that time. Really lovely bit of play there from Havelocks. And it looks like it's Randy Silva who did brilliantly to go up and get that ball and feed it first time to his inside support runner, but somehow just didn't find his hands. See if we can have a look at this tackle. It's just a penalty, says the referee. And you can see that if we do manage to have a look at it, we can see that it wasn't as dangerous as the tackle last week that Navin Henakan Kanamge unleashed on Emosi Vunivosa, because Gayan Veeraratna did seem to bring the player down a little bit safer than Henakan Kanamge smashed Vunivosa into the floor. So that's the only difference that we can see in those tackles. So let's have a look at Hapagoda here. Runs straight into Veeraratna. He's up in the air, so he brings him down fairly safely. Doesn't drive him into the ground, Abdullah, and that's why he got away with just a penalty.
As I guess that was just the one mitigating fact, isn't it? The fact that Hapugoda was in there, that probably saved Weeraratne from getting a yellow card. I don't think the red ever came into contention, but it was just that mitigating factor that probably saved Weeraratne's blushes, really.
Certainly did. Matesh Sarachandra intervening at the back to take the ball out of Senal Dilaka's hands. So CH come away with a very important line-out win. They would have been under serious pressure from that Havelock's driving maul otherwise. Hirusha Sampath is the man entrusted with the clearance. Santosh Algama, and Sampath gets to it first, but manages to knock it forward. But a good chase from the former Kingswood scrum half.
Speaking of Kingswood scrum halves, there's another boy who has just joined the CH lineup, Mohammad Abzal, making his first appearance today for CHNFC. Last few years representing Navy Sports Club. So it's a good addition to CHNFC's already star-studded outfit, but fortunately for them so far, the results haven't just gone their way.
Yes, a lot of individual brilliance, Abdullah, but just not getting together as a cohesive unit, I think. That's where the issues have been. Chatura Dilshan also at the back in the number 8 jersey has had an outstanding season individually, but just not able to take his pack with him. Satya Ranatunga is another one who's done really well as this smoke just continues to pan out across Havelock Park. Lovely ball, but just over the head of Keshan Kavinda. They've gone a long way backwards with Randy Silva, who's on the wing. Lovely fend from Randy Silva, but just can't get away from the big man coming across in cover defense. That was Sudarshan Mudutantri, of course, running a nice open side flankers angle to make sure he got the winger.
So there again, Randy Silva just showing a clean pair of heels to his opposite number, Tivanka Ratnayaka. His heels just seems to be getting more and more intense.
Get back. White number. Yeah.
Well, we're saying heels, Abdullah. I think we're being a little complimentary. It's definitely just smoke from something being burnt next door to us. And if there's anybody from the municipal authorities watching, I suggest they do something about this quickly. Really is not healthy conditions for people who are engaged in cardiovascular activities, as rugby is. Here it is. The penalty was coming for the no arms tackle. Mudutantri got across, but his tackle technique wasn't great. There we see it. Straight shoulder charge into Randy Silva. And you expect better from the experienced Sri Lankan player, don't you? That's a regulation tackle that you expect your 7 to make. And here's the driving maul set up. Thought they would go for it a few seconds earlier, but the ball was stolen off them. But good defense from CH on that occasion. Havelock's tried to change the point of attack. Madhushan set up one try, looking to try and create another. Hapugoda, they go short side now. Delisle, Fajuddin. Straight over the top goes Christian Delisle. So referee not very happy with that. And that's killing the ball, which is exactly how breakdown should be policed.
So just coming to that no arms tackle by Mudutantri, I think you'd have to say he's a bit lucky to get away without being carded, because it's an area of the game that referees generally come down very hard on. And it was a pretty lazy and reckless challenge, wasn't it, right in front of the assistant referee. So Mudutantri can consider himself pretty lucky not to have been carded there. And as you said, Shanak, you'd expect better from such an experienced campaigner.
Certainly would. Don't forget, if you missed that tackle or anything else, visit our YouTube channel for replays, highlights and more. youtube.com/ThePapare official, where you can get all the Dialog Rugby action. And of course, all the other sports action that we bring you on Sri Lanka's #1 sports platform. Nice win in the line-out. That was Nizran Nila, who's also playing for CHNFC, the former Peter Wright second rower. Ball left on the floor by Satya Ranatunga there, and Havelocks will come away with possession, but Mithun Hapugoda just trying to kick that away. I think he thought it was penalty advantage. It looked like there might have been something on there if Havelocks chose to run.
Yes, but again, pretty poor by Satya Ranatunga, losing the ball in contact, not much pressure. Had a couple of small three-quarters, probably half his size in front of him. Needed to have done much better, probably get another 3 or 4 meters, just hit the deck and create another phase as we look at that once again. Jai Vikram did well to make that tackle and then just losing the ball in contact. Pretty poor stuff by Satya Ranatunga.
Delisle making that tackle on Ranatunga, getting his baptism by fire. Not many bigger men in Sri Lankan rugby at the moment. Two of the biggest of them in this front five in Satya Ranatunga and Dimitri. Lahir goes off the back, fights his way over the advantage line. And it's good cleaning out by Havelocks. Randy Silva has featured in this game so far and does well to pick up an untidy ball out of the air. Charna Chamikara. Satya Ranatunga again called upon to make the tackle, as was Dimitri. Good run that time from straight down the throat of Hirusha Sampath that time. It looks like there might have been a late charge or hands on the floor. Is yes, a late tackle, referee says, and that was Nizran Nila, if we can see that again.
Yes, I don't think there was anything sinister about that. I think it was just very careless. The kicker was in there after making contact with the ball, and it actually looked much more dangerous than it actually was. I think probably a bit harsh on Nilhar on that occasion. There was absolutely nothing in it. Could have very well let it go, but nonetheless, an opportunity for Algama to extend Havelock's lead. Had a brilliant game with the boot last week at Police Park.
Yes, that was Pete Wright on Pete Wright, Nila on Sandesh Javikrama. And he can count himself a little unlucky there because he did pull out of the challenge and just turned his back on the kicker, but was already committed. Santosh Algama has already worked on his kicking technique. He's kicking with a much higher trajectory already than we saw last week. And he gets 3 points for his team, so another extension of the lead for Havelocks. And the smoke is really coming down on CH today.
It's another very well struck penalty by Algama. So kicking on from where he left last week as CHNFC kick off once again. Hapugoda makes the initial break.
They're really looking for Randy Silva to try and unleash him on that right-hand touchline, but Prasad Madhushankar makes a good tackle on the winger. He threw the ball in a little dangerously, I thought, but works out well for Havelocks in the end. Randy Silva doing the job that his coach has asked of him, moving to the wing. He's played in several different positions. Outside centre, fly half, full back. Don't forget that we will be having the exclusive coverage of the school's rugby league. It'll be back very, very soon, and it'll be live and exclusive on ThePapare.com. So don't forget to join us, not just for the games, but for all the coverage that we give you on the school's rugby season that everyone has been waiting for since last year. Madhushankar, to throw in your favourites for the school's title, Abdullah?
It's really close. What I hear is Patana seem to have a very good team. St. Peter's will always pose a big challenge, and of course defending champions Royal College looking for an unprecedented fourth consecutive title. So there'll be a lot of contenders. It's very hard to say, Shanaka, without having a look on how these teams are. But one thing everyone can be assured of is it'll be a really thrilling and exciting school season.
As it always is, and we are very happy to bring it to you on ThePapare.com. Penalty for CHNFC, a much needed one. They really need an attacking opportunity to keep this game alive. Dushmanta Priyadarshana, he's come back to his old club. Haven't really seen the same kind of play from him that we saw when he was in the pink and chocolate.
Yes, as well as his partner in crime, Prasad Madhushankar. Really, just those two when they used to play for Havelock's combined extremely well. But good throw in by Madhushankar. Well set up by CHNFC as they look to try and barge over. But looks like they have scored courtesy of Madhushankar. We were just talking about him and he's had an immediate impact. Prasad Madhushankar.
He was a top try scorer a couple of seasons ago, Abdullah, and returns back to Havelock Park and does score the try. He's unstoppable from about 2 or 3 meters out. And it was a great maul. Mathis Saratchandra was the one who took it in the front. And they set it up nicely, and Madhushankar really knows his way to the try line.
Yes, from such close quarters, he's pretty much unstoppable. Carrying a bit of extra pounds, but his technique so close to the try line. Good, using that bulk to good effect. And just managing to cross the white line for CHNFC's first points of this game.
Yes, he borrowed through that maul. Just emerged from behind Sudarshan Muthutantri. Took the brunt of the heavy traffic and rolled his way over the line. Hirusha Sampath now with a difficult kick to try and give them a much needed 7-pointer. Coming off the post from Hirusha Sampath, and that's unlucky. His mate, former national player and cousin, watching probably. Nuan Hettiarachchi, former Kandy and Sri Lanka outside back. That's the try for you. Just managing to roll his way over the line. Mithun Hapukoda just didn't do enough to get under the ball there. Santosh Algama straight into Sudarshan Muthutantri's hands, and Muthutantri knows just the one way to smash it up. CH with a little bit more confidence now since that try has been scored. They've got a little bit of spring in their step, Muthutantri, but again CHNFC looking like they don't really have a plan when they have the ball in hand. Absal, lovely pass outside. Sampath, lovely ball inside as well. And that's another superb offload, Absal. This is what is so dangerous. Madhushankar, the try scorer, drags the ball over the 50-meter line. This is easily the best passage of play we've seen from CH so far. Rohit Rajapaksa goes in and acts as scrum half. Here's Dimitri. Lahir almost gets the ball free, but it's a knock-on, so the referee will come back for the first infringement.
Yes, that's much better by CH. They've just got to look to try and get their big players into the game more often. Guys like Satya Ranatunga, Dimitri Vijayatunga, Priyadarshana himself. They've just got to get them to try and get more involved in the game, because physically they do have an advantage over this Havelock's outfit. They've just got to give them more opportunities to carry the ball and get over that gain line. Havelocks thus far in this game have just managed to hit them and push them behind the gain line and not given them any momentum whatsoever.
And it's early in the game, they needed to make that count, isn't it, Abdullah? Because later on in the game, these big boys will get a little tired. That's when you would have expected Havelocks to come into the game. But you can't help but feel that it's been a bit of an opportunity lost for CH early on. It's wheeled right the way around, and Chatura Dilshan breaks off the back, but not before the referee awards a penalty.
Yes, we're talking pre-game also the tight five of CHNFC, whether they will be able to impose just not their physicality but their experience on this inexperienced Havelock's tight five. And so far in the scrums they have managed to do that. That's probably the second penalty they have managed to get as a result of putting pressure on the scrum. So good touch finder gives CHNFC another attacking opportunity, probably about 15 meters away from Havelock's try line. And just a score here by CHNFC will just open things up markedly in this game. Those first 15 minutes or so, it was all Havelock Sports Club, and you could just sense that CHNFC were looking around, not knowing what exactly is happening. But after that first score, they just seem to have settled down a bit, and another opportunity to narrow this lead further.
Well, maybe they were blinded by the smoke, Abdullah, because it has cleared. And CH have come into their own a little bit more. That's a improvised pass from Madhushankar. Absal going straight into the challenge was Chamara Dabare, bumping off one man, then another. But there is still a penalty advantage available. Dragging down the maul, says the referee. So they will just go again, one would think, or maybe call for a scrum. Hirosha Sampath taking full advantage of the absence of Samuel Madhuwantha with a shoulder injury. Kingswoodian replacing the Antonian. Madhushankar will fancy his chances on the opposite flank this time. Sarat Chandra has been excellent in the line out. This time Dimitri Vijayatunga gets pulled out of that maul, depriving it of most of its bulk. Madhushankar goes forward. Manila was in the thick of it that time. Absal finds his pod of runners. They'll keep this close, CH. And again, the referee has his arm out for an advantage. Havelocks will need to be careful as Absal steps in and scores. Mohammad Absal, you just spoke about the man moving to CH and FC, and this is what they need, a little bit of electric stepping from the base of the scrum, and that's exactly what he did. We thought for all money that ball was going out, but then that left foot stepped and straightened, and he had the strength to drag himself over the line as well.
Yes, wonderful try by CH and FC, but again, it was just created by those big players, isn't it? Madhushankar making that initial break. You saw Vijay Tunga hitting the fringes as well, just drawing that defense in. And then just a wonderful dummy and a step by Absal, what he's renowned for from that scrum half position. As we have a look at that once again. Worried about what's going to happen outside. Wonderful dummy, Shenal Dilaka just moving laterally, momentarily, but Absal just good enough to exploit that hole in Havelock's defense to go over for CHNFC's second try. So good spirited comeback by CHNFC after going down 17 points to nil.
This to make it 17 points to 14 if Sampath manages to get this through, or 12 rather. It's a decent strike and it comes back off the post again. So that's two conversions coming off either post. So Hirosha Sampath has now hit the left post, the right post. He's only got the crossbar to hit now. And that's unfortunate for CH, but you can't come much closer.
Yeah, that's right. This kick, of course, is a bit easier than the previous one. As we have a look at the replay once again. Wonderful dummy and straightening out with that right foot step by Absal, enabling him to go over for CHNFC's second try.
Ganidul Akshan is the man first up for that restart. Palms it back on his own side. Regathered. Here's Azmir Fajrin, a little isolated, but Dushmanta Priyadarshana makes a tackle on the man he used to scrum down with last year. It's available for Hapugoda now. Madhushan, good hands from him. Senal Dilaka, it's really good defender, but as you were talking about big men, Abdullah, Senal Dilaka on the line there was distracted by the looming presence of Satya Ranatunga. Went for him instead, and Absal snuck in inside him. So that's where the big men, even though they don't always carry the ball, really draw defenders to themselves. Havelocks now looking to fight their way back into a sizable lead. Smashed in the tackle. Kushan Indunil it was, making that big hit. Senal Dilaka, and ball is way over the top for Shaukat Lahir. It's knocked on, but the referee will call it back, and Lahir will insist that it went backwards, but the referee thinks otherwise.
Good pressure by CHNFC, much better. Just Dialog running that decoy, they did not fall for that. Forcing Hapugoda to throw that long loopy pass. When you have your forwards in those outside channels, the pass has got to be much more accurate than that. So CHNFC just showing a little bit more confidence after this first 15 minutes. They just didn't seem to be focused on the game. But after that first try, they just seem to have got their concentration together and looking quite threatening as it stands now.
Yes, certainly one of their best performances in the last few weeks, in this last 10 minutes or so. And, the presence of Absal does galvanize a team. He's a very chatty player, traditional scrum half. Really G's up his forwards and annoys the opposition. That's exactly what scrum halves are given in their job description. The smoke is back though here at Havelock Park, so let's see whether the Havelocks will take ascendancy from that. Rohit Rajapaksa gives it off to Gayan Veeraratne, who runs a short angle. Lochana Giragama is up to the challenge. Muthutham 3, but it's a standing start for the Sri Lanka flanker. Rajapaksa again, it's not a great ball to him. Forced to carry it into contact. Here's Absal now with a long ball. Lovely bust up the middle. And Aryapala's challenge was not legal, says the referee. So Matesh Sarachandra winning a penalty for his team, carrying that ball into contact, and Sampath will look to put his team deep into the 22 so that Prasad Madhushanka can have another crack.
Yes, some good momentum building for CHNFC here. Havelocks just need to try and stem this flow, and the confidence that CH have been slowly but surely building as this game has gone on. Another great line out opportunity. Probably execute that driving maul and created a few phases from there on.
Don't forget to download Dialog View, Sri Lanka's largest video collection with no data charges. That's the real cinch here. Get it on Google Play or download it on the App Store. CH set up another good maul. Sarachandra in the front. But Havelocks have repelled it this time. Madhushanka will come off, but get met pretty quickly. Here's Jusmanta Priyadarshana. Dragged down in the tackle by Ganindu Lakshan, who rolls away obligingly. Absal. They go short side. Here's a little nice ball infield and just not able to get it across the line. That was dangerous work. It looked like Shanaka Kumara on the left flank. In fact, Divanka Ratnayaka with a nice run and throws the ball into Matisa Sarachandra, who does really well to grab it behind him and above him. But he was off balance and it was an easy job to push him into touch.
Yes, it's interesting to see Abzal seems to be quite keen on using the short side as much as possible. Always looking to snipe on that short side, so Havelocks will need to be aware of that, have that short side covered defensively. Lahir goes up, collects it comfortably. Havelocks no doubt will look to try and clear their lines from here.
Again, penalty coming CH's way. It was knocked forward, or knock on actually. So Fajuddin carrying it at the back, but a little bit of a lack of cohesion. Again with different members of the pack. Sabah coming in. Charana Chamikara coming in as well. No Abdullah Faiz today. And then Delisle coming into the back and Lahir shifting one over as well. So just a few positional changes can sometimes have these teething problems, Abdullah. Especially in cohesive moments where teams really need to be knowing exactly what each person is doing in the driving maul. So I'm sure they'll sort that out quickly.
Yeah, that's one side of it, and the other side of it is you can see the experience of this Havelock's 8 coming into play. They just know when it comes to close quarters, when it gets close to the try line, how to put pressure on this Havelock's 8. Put enough pressure for them to commit errors, turn the ball over, and another great opportunity. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm no doubt CHNFC will try and put as much pressure on this Havelock's 8 as possible.
This is going to be a big scrum for CH. You could see Dimitri Vijayatunga really animated in that huddle while the players were being attended to. Big shove coming already from the Havelock's team, and the referee not too happy with that early shove. So he's going to have a word, but Havelock's will desperately want to win that hit. Conceding maybe 10, 15 kilos a man in that front five. Charana Chamikara, easily the biggest of the front rowers for Havelock's, and he's not nearly the same league as Satya Ranatunga. Chatura Dilshan picks up, but Lahir gets him before he can gather any momentum. Dushmanta Priyadarshan, it is against his old team. Rolls once towards the try line and makes the ball available. Here's Vijayatunga.
Release, number 2. Release.
Absal looks to the short side again, but allows his forwards to carry it forward, and it's a score. Managed to somehow get his way over the line, and again it's Dushmanta Priyadarshana who will take a well-earned break because he's worked really hard in that 5-meter channel. Madhushankar gets a double before half-time.
Yes, and an opportunity for us to go even Stevens as we approach this half-time. Who would have thought after those first 15 minutes, but to CHNFC's credit, slowly and surely they managed to impose themselves on this game, especially that tight 5, isn't it? They've been extremely dominant. They managed to win the collisions. As we have a look at that once again, it's all close quarter stuff here. Havelock's valiantly trying to defend their goal line, but Madhushankar just having too much bulk and experience as well to just go over for his second try, and an opportunity for his kicker to even things up on the scoreboard.
Hirusha Sampath is aiming for the crossbar to make it 3-3, but instead he bisects the posts, and that's the first kick through for Sampath, although he's connected with the woodwork on every occasion so far. And we are here at 17 all with a game unfolding. It was just a smoke screen earlier on that Havelock's used to their advantage. They have flattered to deceive, but now with the half an hour mark upon us, CH look like they are well into the ascendancy in this game. Santosh Algama drops it into the hands of Chatura Dilshan. Dilshan spinning out of one tackle. He's got such good technique in contact. Absal now looking for a willing runner, but Mathesh Sarachandra drops the ball, and this may be the only invitation that Havelock's need. Girahagama gives it away to Aryapala, but CH's defense is up to the task, and they'll come back for the knock-on.
Probably Abzal's first lapse in this game. Really poor pass, resulting in the knock-on, so sure he'll be disappointed with that. It's an opportunity for Havelock's to try and get some points on the board just before half-time. After being 17-0 up, find themselves at 17 all. But if they can just get a score here, going to half-time with a lead, I'm sure that'll make them feel much better. It's a wonderful position to launch an attack from.
Yes, it really is on the 15-meter line, just inside the 15-meter line actually. So a good short side also for Keshan Kavind. on this near side, closest to us than the camera. But Lahir goes off the back and Sudarshan Muthutanthri drags him down in a copybook tackle. Sandesh Jayavikrama gives the ball to two of his centres, both of which left it for the other. Oh, that's Satya Ranatunga. It's a tough call. Not sure exactly what happened in that scrum there. But that's a big loss for Havelocks, especially in the just before half time. And if I were the Havies, I'd probably taken a scrum.
Yes, but probably with everything that's been happening over the last 25 minutes or so, Shanaka, I think Havelocks will just want to get some points in the board and stem whatever momentum CHNFC have had thus far. As we were talking earlier, going into half-time with a lead, whatever it is, will probably just give them a little bit of confidence going into that second half. So Algama takes a few steps, strikes it very well, bisects the uprights, and that'll just give Havelocks the lead once again, 20 points to 17. And there'll be a player up as well, so could we see another momentum shift in this game?
That's a reasonable conservative approach, Abdullah, but I definitely would have gone for a scrum there. Satya Ranatunga off. They need to get another prop on, lose a flanker. And that's what they'll have to come back with for the second half as well. Even if they didn't score, would have really stretched CH just before half time. Or maybe even gone to the line with that big man out. CH now will look to take their time, really play out that 10 minutes while Ranatunga remains in the bin. Rohit Rajapaksa with a hanging restart, claimed by Fajuddin. He had to run back to collect it. Well taken from him. In fact, it was a difficult kick to take. And Hapugoda now will put this up for Randy Silva to chase. Beautifully taken almost by the Havies winger. Just couldn't get it into his hands. Went up brilliantly. Absal to Dimitri Vijayatunga. Runs straight into his Charana Chamikara. Vijayatunga does well to manage to present the ball, and Rajapaksa will kick it. But referee says that will be half time. There was a knock on there. And the last scoring of the half and the first scoring of the half done by Havelocks, but in between CHNFC have found their way back into this game, and we have everything to play for in the second half. 20 points to 17 is how it stands. Havelocks at home against CH, who are desperate for a win. Havelocks desperate to avoid a 3-in-a-row losses situation, and we have everything here to play for at Havelock Park in the Dialog Rugby League. You're on ThePapare.com. We'll bring you the highlights of the first half. There's plenty of them. We've seen 4 tries already. Five tries, in fact. Just a kick-off, and here's the first line out that Havelocks really attacked from Sabah, making some good ground, good clearing from Lahir as well, and that's where CH's defense were just too disorganized, and Mithun Hapugoda, there was absolutely no stopping him one-on-one. Hirusha Sampath, all he would have seen were Mithun Hapugoda's stockings as they flashed past him. Here's a second try. Umesh Madhushan again, no fringe defense for CH. And Aryapala had enough pace to finish this one off. Really good unselfish play from Umesh Madhushan as well. And that's when we thought Havelocks were going to run away with this game. It was 14 points to 0 with this Jayavikrama conversion. That was the time when the smoke was really billowing across this ground, making it really unsafe for anyone gulping in big gasps of air. Santosh Algama with that penalty. And this is where CH started to get back into the game. Matisha Sarachandra with the win. And at the back, Prasad Madhushankar in the number 2 shirt, using his truck runners in front of him, managing to roll his way over the line. And again, this was a driving maul that disintegrated, but Mohammad Afzal with a wonderful, extravagant step off his left foot. Senal Delaka distracted by Satya Ranatunga's presence on his outside, and he won't be too happy with that when he sees the replay, because he's a better defender than that and he knows it. And again, Prasad Madhushankar borrowing in from close range. Absolutely impossible to stop when he's got his eyes on the try line, Madhushankar, and that was the conversion, which brings us to 17 all. And this was the final action of the half, 20 points to 17 with that Santosh Algama penalty. And that's where we are at the moment. You're on ThePapare.com. We'll be back after the break.
අලු සීට් එකක් දැම්ම නම් නරකයි.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
සර්, සර්ගේ පේමන්ට් එක සෙටල් කරන්න තියෙනවා.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න. දෙකෙන් දෙන්න නම් දෙකෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, a Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
Ceylon personal loan කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with the heart.
රුපියල් 5කින් මොනවද කරන්න පුළුවන්? 5කින්
අලු සීට් එකක් දැම්ම නම් නරකයි.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
සර්, සර්ගේ පේමන්ට් එක සෙටල් කරන්න තියෙනවා.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න. දෙකෙන් දෙන්න නම් දෙකෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, a Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
Ceylon personal loan කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with the heart.
There is nothing quite like the Six Nations, where emotion flows, pride bursts, and talent soars.
Wow, absolute wow.
Get caught up in the tournament that stops the nations.
You cannot take your eyes off this game for a moment. It's a fairy tale finish.
Watch Six Nations on Rugby Pass TV.
A tradition that dates back over a century. Chaos that captures your heart and soul. An extravaganza you cannot miss. A new decade of familiar madness. March Madness 2020. Exclusive coverage on ThePapare.com.
අලු සීට් එකක් දැම්ම නම් නරකයි.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
සර් සර්ගේ පේමන්ට් එක සෙටල් කරන්න තියෙනවා.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න නම් දෙකෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, a Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
සිලාන් පර්සනල් ලෝන් කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with the heart.
The Six Nations, where emotion flows, pride bursts, and talent soars.
Wow, absolute wow.
Watch Six Nations on Rugby Pass TV.
Havelock's taking on CHNFC live from the Havelock Park here on ThePapare.com, and it's been a wonderful match so far. We've seen 5 tries in the first 40 minutes. Do we have 5 more in the tank, Abdullah Yusuf?
Well, time will tell, Shanaga, but if anything, if the first half was anything to go by, then there's no doubt that we'll be in for another entertaining 40 minutes of rugby.
Good collection that time from Tivanka Ratnayaka on the left wing today for CHNFC. Matisha Sarachandra standing at first receiver as he has done most of this game. Here's Chatura Dilshan getting the ball in a little bit of space for the first time in this game. CH have made 3 phases before trying to exit here. They've made a change at scrum half. And Lee comes in for Rohit Rajapaksa to clear, and it's a good clearance from the CH skipper. Bounces it just in field, and Randy Silva may feel that he should perhaps have fielded that kick.
It's an interesting choice to replace Mohammad Afzal, but probably making his first game, so it was probably as far as he could go. Had such a big impact in that first half. And another area it'll be interesting to see is how CHNFC manage this next 8 minutes or so, Shanaka, with 14 players.
My mistake, it's Suhail Wasim who has come on at number 9 and not Lee, not Avishka Lee. Good palm off by Sandesh Jayavikrama, gets smashed in a tackle, but referee says that it went forward, but the Havelocks will get the ball. So a couple of changes for Havelocks in the pack as well. Abdullah Faiz has come on in place of Sabah, and Malisha Madhumevan has come on probably in place of Christian Delisle. So late tackle is the call from the assistant.
White number 22.
Santosh Algama will look to get his team some good field position to launch their famous driving maul. Was a tactic that coach Sanat Martis and Dushant Leuke developed at Royal, which now has spread. Here's a late charge, Sandesh Jayawickrama, and that was an unnecessary bit of recklessness from Kushan Indunil.
It's well spotted by the assistant referee as well to bring that up. It has no place in the game whatsoever.
Ganidul Akshan this time does a primary job of taking the ball in the middle of the line out. The maul has gone sideways, not so much forwards. And that time it's brought to ground, but the referee says there was no skullduggery involved. Lahir still going, Priyadarshana rips it, and here's Charana Chamikara who comes on at the end of it. Chamikara. Really good work from Charana that time. An underutilized player, an underrated player, has had a few discipline issues on and off the field. Here's Shaukat Lahir, another man impossible to stop from 5 meters out, but the referee says that CH's defense have done just enough, and Nisran Nila comes away with the ball, showing that he just managed to get under it. But Havelocks will not mind that because they'll get another chance.
Yes, desperate defense by CHNFC. Charana Chamikara just taking the ball up. And then Lahir, we know how dangerous he can be from such close quarters. Just identifying a bit of space on the fringe there. Staying on his feet. Going over the line, but wonderful desperate defense by young Nilhar to hold him up.
It's Nilhar and Chatura Dilshan, I think, who managed to just get across. Looks like Dhiren Kalin the Karyavasam has come on in the front row for CH as well on this near side, on the loose head side of the scrum. So quite a few changes for both teams, showing the physicality of and pace of that first half. Lahir waits, now picks up and goes into Sudarshan Mututantri. Doesn't miss the tackle. Havelocks will be patient here. They know they want another gap in the score. Not satisfied with their 3-point lead. Here's Lahir going again. Second time lucky. Shaukat Lahir fights his way over the line. And he and Prasad Madhushankar are probably two of the most deadly forwards within 5 meters of the try line. His body position was excellent. And it's his 4th try in 2 weeks.
How many times have we seen Lahir being able to put the finishing touches to many a Havelock's move this season from such close quarters? It's not just his technique, Shanaka, but also his strength, isn't it? Just very, very hard man to stop from such close quarters. He's been dynamic for Havelock's all over the park. Just give him a 5-meter scrum and he just knows how to get himself over the line.
Pretty much on his own here as well. Abdullah didn't have anyone binding up behind him. And you talk about strength. And he's not a big man, Shaukat Lahir, but pound for pound, he's probably the strongest man on the park in terms of just power. Sandesh Jayawickrama knocking over the conversion. So Havelocks have got their bonus point, and they'll be very happy with that.
Yes, it was an interesting technique as well. When he took the ball from the ruck and went up, he saw both the defenders flying at him. He just took a step behind, let both the defenders hit the deck and just went around them. So yes, very smart play as well.
It was very smart play indeed. It was unorthodox, but he spotted what was in front of him and played it. Nice hanging restart again by Rohit Rajapaksa, palm back by Malisha Madhumevan, and Santosh Algama has no option but to carry this forward. Umesh Madhushan does his fullback some favors by picking this up and going quickly. Havelocks have got out of their 22, but what will they have up their sleeve now? Here's Abdullah Faiz, fresh from the bench. Long ball Arya Pala shows inside. Goes to Keshan Kavinda now on the left wing. Hasn't really seen much of the ball this game. Smashed in the tackle. Karyavasam into Abdullah Faiz, the two men who have just come off the bench. Here's Mithun Hapugoda looking for a little show and go again. Sandesh Chayavikrama to go Lochana Girahagama. Lovely hands from Girahagama to Randy Silva stepping inside. Good tackle made on him in the end by Kushan Idunil. Hapugoda. Senal Dilaka now. CH pile in. Looked like they were falling all over the ball, but the referees let it go because the ball was available. Fajuddin flying up was Indranil to shut down any danger on the short side. Umesh Madhushan almost gets done by the physio coming across the field. Randy Silva seems in a little bit of trouble, and the ball now falls for Chatura Dilshan, who finds himself in the right place at the right time. Another player on the floor. Here it is for Mithun Hapugoda again. Lovely hands from Randy Silva, who's recovered well enough to get more involved in that play. Swear he was being attended to by the physio just seconds ago. Fajuddin to Lahir. Veeraratna brings him down. Here he is again, some space on the outside. Giragama, it was good tackle from Muthutantri, who read the play well. Faiz makes it available. Good technique from the tight head prop. Hapugoda trying to find a way to unlock the CH defense, which has been much better in the second half. But offside, says the referee.
Yeah, number 3 white.
So that was an important penalty, and it looks like there was a yellow card there as well for Dushmant Priyadarshana. He will not be happy with that. Seemed innocuous enough. Let's go back and see if we can get a replay of what Dushmant Priyadarshana was deemed guilty of.
Yes, well, the referee seems to be signaling that it was a high tackle, and that was his second warning. So CHNFC will be down to 13 players now. We really have to manage these next few minutes, at least to get their 14th player back onto the park.
So we've got two props out at the moment. Satya should be just about coming back now. Standing on the sidelines, having his last drink of water. CH down to 13 momentarily, but Satya Ranatunga will. In fact, looks like Satya may be coming back, and Kalinda Karyavasam will go off.
So once again, Havelocks have zoomed into a 13-point lead. Have a look at that infringement once again.
Oh, I thought that was a little harsh. Certainly not cardable, even if it was a penalty. Looked like Abdullah Faiz was falling. He had already been tackled and was going to ground, and there was no real dangerous contact with his head and neck. But Ranatunga comes back on, and so does Dimitri. Ball goes to nobody, and in the end it's Fajuddin who claims there was an early tackle. And he may have something to shout about. Here's Chatura Dilshan trying to get some momentum going for his team. He's been a lone ranger at the back of this pack. And the ball is turned over, and Arya Pala now kicks ahead. There's nobody at home for CHNFC, but the referee will call it back for a penalty. No clear release, he says. And the turnover was therefore deemed illegal.
Yes, you've got to release the tackler before you play the ball. So Havelocks Lahir on that occasion guilty of not releasing the tackler. An opportunity for CH to just try and get back into Heavy's half and put a bit of pressure. They just haven't been able to dominate the game in the second half, position or territorial wise either.
Dr. Namit Sankalpana on the field. The first match of the World Cup. Abdullah, Sri Lanka's sole representative at the Rugby World Cup. Russia versus Japan. Sampath, who deems himself fit to play. The Kingswoodian will recovered sufficiently enough to find touch though. And Mithun Hapugoda will gratefully knock this out under no pressure whatsoever. Not a huge gain from the heavy skipper. Don't forget we're on the verge of March Madness. Still February, but March is just around the corner. And that's when all the big matches will be happening. So keep it locked to ThePapare.com as we bring you all the big match action on the ThePapare and of course Dialog TV, Dialog View. So many options for you to choose from. Four-man line out for CH this time. Sarat Chandra, dummies at the front. Eventually goes up and Sohail Wasim finding Chatra Dilshan. Nice ball from Dimitri Vijayatunga that time. And Rohit Rajapaksa manages to get to his boot to it to try and
offside, white number 6. Number 6 offside.
Prevent the knock-on, but Havelock's defense had drifted offside.
There's a missed opportunity there. They're playing advantage, but fortunately not managing to hold on to the pass was skipper Rajapaksha. So they've got a penalty nonetheless, and looks like they'll be going to the post.
That's a sensible decision. 30 points to 20 will mean that there's just 2 scores. One more penalty from there and it's just 1 score. So there's plenty of time left in this game, over half an hour or just about half an hour.
Yes, just down to 14 players as well, so they've just got to manage this period, taking the points when they are on offer.
Sampath obliges and it's 30 points to 20 here at Havelock Park. You're watching Dialog Rugby League action. CHNFC are trying to play their way back into this game after conceding their second big lead of the evening. They trailed 17 points to 0 and then trailed by 13 points at the start of the second half as well. But with that penalty, claw themselves back to within 10 points and will hope to get another try. Of course, they're down to 14 men. Dushmanta Priyadarshana in the bin after Satya Ranatunga, his propping partner, had also spent 10 minutes there. So you've got to have 15 men on the park if you want to make a difference. CH have let themselves down a little with their discipline, although Dushmanta Priyadarshana can count himself a little unlucky. Here's Algama, who puts this deep into the hands of Gayan Veeraratna. Senal Dilaka makes yet another tackle. Dimitri Vijayatunga trying to free his arms. Chatura Dilshan hands it off to the big man Vijay Tunga, and this is what Abdullah was talking about in the first half, getting the big men involved. Suhail Wasim with a nice long pass, Matisa Sarachandra with a inside channel, and Rohit Rajapaksa finds him on the short pass. Gayan Veeraratne now for the first time with the ball in hand. Wasim, here's Ganidul Lakshan, looks like he's in a bit of trouble on the deck. Good work that time from the CH hooker, Dasanayaka. Aryapala now managing to steal the ball off the CH team. Good leg drive to get his team into the 22. Mithun Hapugoda. Good inside ball from Madhushan, who's shown great hands today. And Lahir again with that trademark run. Charana Chamikara finds himself on the wing, bumps off one tackle. Here's Aryapala, who started it all off. Huge tackle on him by Sarat Chandra. Abdullah Faiz. Straight over the ball goes Dasanayaka. Referee happy with it though. Stepping inside was Mithun Hapugoda, who started off the scoring for his team in the first couple of minutes. Pulasi Dasanayaka again goes over the ball, not really keeping his feet. And it looks like there was a knock-on, and lucky not to concede a penalty there, CH.
Some good discipline by CH and FC. Just managing to hold that defensive line, did not crack under the pressure that this Havelock's outfit put them under. And showed some good discipline and opportunity for them to clear their lines. Charna Chamikara down there seems to have damaged his knee. He's been helped up by the physio.
Looks like he's come into the game with a taped up ankle, Abdullah, so looks like he might have aggravated that injury again. Have to feel for the gentleman carrying the stretcher. Chamikara is not a small man. Those gents don't look like they're the biggest lads in the world either. But he's happy to take a rest on the sideline and say, I'll find my way back. Ankle injuries are notoriously chronic. If you don't heal this rigorous club rugby schedule, you don't really get an opportunity. Players want to play, coaches want players to play.
Yes, and also this the position that he plays, isn't it, Chanaka, that front row, so much pressure at scrum time. Those ankles really do take a beating. Once they're injured, if they're not mended properly, they rush back to play. It could have long-term repercussions for the players, so it's important that physios, club officials do show a bit of empathy towards the players when they do have injuries, not rush them back before they're actually ready to play.
Not suggesting, of course, that that has been the case in this particular instance, but just in general, it's a good policy, especially with Sri Lankan ground conditions being what they are. Maybe take a little bit more time. Chatura Dilshan with a lovely break. Gets over the gain line untouched. Rajapaksa trying to run this one out of trouble, and Veeraratne with a lovely dummy, but
ball in, ball in, ball in.
dragged into touch. Lucky the ball didn't go out. Giragama has been good today. And unfortunately, Sohail Wasim, looking to make the pass, has stepped into touch.
Well, after all that hard work by Veeraratne, just the lapse of concentration by Wasim, just having his foot on the touchline. So have a look at that once again. Veeraratne did brilliantly to keep that ball in play. And Wasim, as you can see there, just making contact with the ball with his left foot on the line, and assistant referee Gunaratne right on the spot to identify that and call it up.
It's a game of inches. It's like Tivanka Ratnayaka was suffering from a bit of cramp. Madhumewan jumping against Sarat Chandra, who's an excellent defensive line-out jumper. Hapugoda with a long ball out to Jayavikrama. Randy Silva is way behind the gain line, but does well to keep the ball in hand and swirl his way out of a little trouble. Mithun Hapugoda, the wall closes quickly in front of him, but the referee will say that that was an obstruction. And again, a yellow card. That was for Nivanka Prasad, is it? Nivanka Prasad coming on in the third row for CH and seeing a yellow card. So that's 3 yellow cards from CH, really not doing themselves any favors. Let's have a look at it again. Mithun Hapugoda puts the kick up, and did the players actually close the door? Did they run into him? Or did they just turn around? They're entitled to hold their line or just stop. So let's watch it here. Mithun Hapugoda puts the kick up, and well, it's really close quarters. Again, maybe a penalty, but a yellow card may have been a little harsh there for Nivanka Prasad. He did genuinely try to smother the kick. There's very little he can do to get out of Mithun Hapugoda's way there.
Penalty at the very least, Shanaka, and that is also very doubtful because I don't think he had any intent on giving a late tackle. Probably poetic justice that Algama, who has been so brilliant at the tee, misses that penalty. As we have a look at that once again. Of course, Hapugoda is a pass master at attracting players towards him and to draw the penalty. But probably Nivanka Prasad can consider himself, just as Madhushank Priyadarshana did earlier on, unfortunate to get another yellow card.
Yes, that really was unfortunate, as Ganidhu Lakshan has a seat and Dilanka Pereira in the number 18 jersey comes on. So CH lucky, or will consider themselves even on the karmic scoreboard, not to be 3 points behind. 3 further points behind, I should say. Tivanka Ratnayaka, Dushmanta Priyadarshana has come back, so CH have 14 players on the park. Rajapaksa out to Ratnayaka, who is unable to keep the ball in field, had no space to work with, and Umesh Madhushan gets across and makes another smashing tackle.
It's really poor by Ratnayaka. Needed to step inside and just continue play. Had absolutely no space whatsoever to outflank the Havelock's defense. Decided to go nonetheless and was just bundled into touch. But I think fortunately for CHNFC, the referee was playing an advantage for a knock-on. But that's really a skill that wings in Sri Lanka really need to master, isn't it, Shanaka, when they don't have any space out wide. Just to cut in and just create that extra phase, just to ensure that you retain position and the game goes on. We've seen international teams and even Premiership teams, Super Rugby teams doing that so often. So much skill. Just ensures that the ball is in play that much longer.
It's something I really noted during the World Cup, Abdullah. There was hardly a time that a winger got bundled out into touch. They'd always step back with their outside foot and create another phase. Their inside support runners expect it. Chatura Dilshan again to Suhail Wasim. Unnecessary break that time because just allowing the defense to regather without committing. Rajapaksa with the high kick. And under real pressure was Algama. But in the end, Keshan Kavinda gets back and the two Josephians manage to save the day. Mithun Hapugoda returns the kick with a little bit of interest, and that kick was put through. It's a dangerous one. And in the end, Aryapala just able to do enough. But the ball will still be CH ball.
Yes, comedy of errors really by both the players trying to field the high ball. Algama on the first occasion.
Looks like it was Sarat Chandra on that occasion. Tanuja Jayavira is on for Havelocks in the number 24 jumper. It's a long, hard ball straight to Chatura Dilshan. And the referee says it wasn't straight, so he'll give Havelocks the option. And Azmir Fajruddin says, yes, we'll take the scrum. Dilshan a little bewildered. But you don't have to be bewildered at all if you subscribe to ThePapare.com. Subscribe to watch all live sport. Watch your favorite games exclusively on Sri Lanka's #1 sports hub. Visit ThePapare.com live. Cheaper than a bus ticket. Lahir, the ball bursts so out of the scrum, so he's compelled to pick it up. And Mithun Hapagoda with those dazzling dancing feet scores again, his second try of the game. Shaukat Lahir, for a moment we thought that he'd lost control of that ball. He had, but he managed to recover quickly enough, and CH's defense were caught napping. He made good yards, and Hapagoda, with that defense at 6s and 7s, managed to just glide over.
Again, Lahir making that initial break, getting well past that first line of defense, and then Hapagoda off broken play. There was no fringe defense formed whatsoever, and not for the first time in this game. Walls over for Havelocks. Probably fifth try rather, with the conversion to come. Javikrama makes no mistake.
Really well done there by Shaukat Lahir to really drag the defense deep. And Gayan Veeraratna knew that he had men outside, knew the danger of Mithun Hapagoda, and was just caught in two minds. As the smoke comes back and casts a pall of gloom over Havelocks, here's a break from Lahir. Runs straight into the channel inside the number 10. Algama moves to scrum half for this move. And Dushman, the Priyadarshana, can count himself a little unlucky there that he didn't get the penalty. Here's Randy Silva looking to cut back in field. Does well. And the ball is available now for Azmir Fajruddin. Some lazy runners getting in his way, but referee allowing play to go on. Mithun Hapagoda, it's slow ball. And Umesh Madhushan, who has been outstanding in this game, gives the ball to Mithun Hapagoda, who puts a little chip kick in, but it's overcooked. But he knew he had the penalty coming, or did he? Doesn't matter, because it was.
It's again Malisha Medhuvan just taking that quick tap, catching the CHNFC defense snapping, creating phases after phases, managing to draw a penalty. Algama, I don't think will need to be given a second invitation to go for the post and further extend this lead. Havelocks have definitely turned it on in this second half. CH just have disappeared, haven't they, Shanaka?
Yes, I think it's partly to do with the conditioning as well, Abdullah. I think the Havelocks team is a lot fitter than CH, We thought that they would be threatening in the early portions, which is why that early 17-0 lead was real suicidal lead to concede. Because Havelocks were always going to be stronger in the second half with their younger, fitter, smaller players. And suddenly it's 40 points to 20.
So, with about 13 minutes to go, Havelocks, courtesy of another penalty by Algama, have a 20-point cushion. CHNFC will really need to pull something special out of the bag if they're to come back from this one, as Rajapaksha kicks off.
Contestable kick that time, but CH have lost a bit of steam. Taken easily by Madhushan, and Santosh Algama will, under no pressure whatsoever, put this back towards the 22 where Chhatra Dilshan waits to gather up ahead of steam. Lovely run by the number 8. Suhail Wasim. Here's Karya Wasim. Straight over that ball. Havelock slowing it down. Sandesh Jayavikrama making a tackle on Sudarshan Muthutantri. Rajapaksa goes in at halfback. Here's Veeraratna. Hasn't really had any good ball to do much with today. Well picked up that time by Hiranta Pereira. Another real talent lying on the bench for CH. But not rolling away is the call. Muthutantri, the ball is behind Chhatra Dilshan. But he does well, the number 8. Big fend. But Keshan Kavinda does, or Santosh Algama does enough to bring him down. Still going CH. Hiranta Pereira now off the bench, fresh legs. Here's Dushmanta Priyadarshana, desperate to make amends for his yellow card. Wasim. It's a quick ball across the face, but Pulasti Dasanayaka is isolated. And another penalty. Referee will show a yellow card, and it will be to Umesh Madhushan. So it's been raining cards here. 3 for CH and now 2 for Havelocks. 5 yellow cards in the game. Taken quickly. CH are not hanging around now, and Rajapaksa steps in field. Does he manage to get it down? Yes, he does. Rohit Rajapaksa, the skipper. Can he mount a comeback now against 14-man Havelocks? 13 minutes in which to do it. And the gap now is 15 points.
Yes, well, if they needed their skipper to stand up, this was the moment which he has done. An opportunity for CH to just narrow this lead to 13 points, but yet they've got to score twice, at least, without conceding. So have a look at that play once again. Rajapaksha stepping inside against a drifting Havelocks defense to go over for another try for CHNFC.
It's 2 brothers on in the back line for CH now, Imanka and Dinusha Naryapala. As Hirusha Sampath lines his kick up to try and take his team a little closer. It struck it well, but just off to the right. But he's got a great future, this lad. The kicking boots. Not sure fullback is his position though. It's a good fly half, scrum half. Sandesh Jayavikrama restarts. Gayan Veeraratna. Havelocks allow him to run into them, and it's a great run by the veteran centre. Rajapaksa fresh from the score, breaks through, needs to find space. Manages to find Dushmanta Priyadarshana in the end. Wasim. And here's some space again for Rajapaksa cutting back on the inside. Muthutantri was screaming for it, puts a little chip kick in, but it's not a great one. Not the skill set that Muthutantri is used for. And I think there's a penalty coming here for back chat.
You deliberate, captain.
And a deliberate knockdown, says the referee. And Hirusha Sampath will opt for the touchline. Going across his body to the left-hand side. It's unusual. Usually you'd find kickers going to the right-hand touchline from that position. Is this the beginning of a famous comeback, Abdullah? Havelock's down to Warren Virakon is on in the number 14 jersey for Havelocks. And Pulasi Dasanayake will throw in. This is crucial here. Havelocks managed to get to 32 quickly. Got a game on. Nivanka Prasad is back on the park. They've driven this forward, but they've driven it straight into the ground. Ball is available. Dushmanta Priyadarshana now. Havelock's desperate not to lose 3 weeks in a row. And it looks like the try is scored. Yes, it is. Warren Virakun is on in the number 14 jersey and makes an immediate impact. Another man who's very difficult to stop 5 meters out, and suddenly Havelocks look like they won't die without a fight.
That's right. Kudos to Warren Virakon for getting himself involved in that sequence of play. It was that close quarter stuff, but seems to enjoy playing that role whenever he can. Good body position. Stayed really low. Disdi Shanagam very hard to stop from that kind of distance when you go so low. And Havelock's defenders were pretty much upright as well. That did not help their cause.
Any forwards coach should have been proud of the winger's body position there. Hirusha Sampath now for a crucial conversion. And again, just overcompensates this time and misses to the left-hand side of the post. So you've got to ask yourself, a few of those conversions, there have been 4 missed, Abdullah. 2 came off the post as Virakun. Just smashing through against Ramesh Fernando. But 8 points would have been 40 to 38 if those conversions had gone over. 2 hitting the post, 2 missing by a whisker. As the smoke now is back again. Really burning mountains of garbage. Pulasi Dasanayake. Suhail Wasim. Here's Rajapaksa. Lovely angle from Nivanka Prasad. He's such a dangerous player. Looks for space. Doesn't find any support runners. So takes on the fullback. Algama is a little worse for wear after that. Here it is for Chatura Dilshan. This time straightening the line and straightening it well. But it's a forward pass, says the referee, and Havelocks will live to breathe again. Jamara Dabara is frustrated. But positive signs for CH.
Yes, but I think to stay in this game, they really needed to put the finishing touches to that Nivanka Prasad break. Shanaka just did not have supporting runners running the correct lines. So we have a look at that once again. Prasad was looking on his outside, but Hirusha Sampath decided to cut inside. When you do that, you've got to communicate very clearly to let the ball carry and know where you are.
Bind.
Fortunately for CHNFC, that was not the case. Because all these breakdowns, all these resets just eats into the time, which unfortunately CHNFC don't have in their favor.
Mithun Hapugoda has stayed on the whole match today, and that's a big shove. Huge scrum from CH. And the referee will have to call it back because the ball did hit him. So, do they take a scrum or do they go for the line out? Looks like the latter option is what they will prefer. But you're so right, Abdullah. That's just a case of the bench players maybe not combining as well as they would like. Prasad and Hirusha Sampath, the newcomer. Just not able to keep pace with the big number 8.
You also just have to wonder whether CH kept their bench back a bit too long, isn't it, Shanaka? You've seen guys like Nivanka Prasad coming and making an impact. But it was a bit too late before they were brought in. Is something the coaches will need to look at for their future games.
Well, that looked like it was a good enough sack, but the referee says no as Chatura Dilshan looks to reach over. Sohail Wasim tries to do a Mohammad Afzal, but gets wrapped up. And that's better defense by Havelocks on the scrum half. And held up is the call. They'll come back for the penalty, and this time Dilanka Pereira will go off. That's 6 yellow cards in the game. Sohail Wasim, Waria Wasam. Gripping stuff here at Havelock Park. Dialog Rugby League action at its best on a Friday evening. It's Valentine's Day, but there's no love lost here between the two teams. Arya Pala makes up and makes the hit, and Shanaka Kumara will think he's away, but the referee will come back for the knock forward. Arya Pala's hand did hit the ball as he went in for that hit. It was well spotted by the referee and the assistant.
That's right. Just probably needed to be a bit quicker and slicker in the distribution. Probably standing a bit too flat as well. CHNF definitely had an opportunity on that occasion. They've got close, but they've just got to convert it soon, isn't it, Shanaka? Because they're definitely running out of time. We've just entered the last 2 minutes of this game. Havelocks are down to 13 players. That's something to keep in mind. But have CHNFC left it a bit too late.
It's a 10-point gap, 2 minutes to go. And it's necessary to talk about a man of the match as well, Abdullah. Been a few good contributions, and I think this man just walking back into the park for me has been the standout, Umesh Madhushan. He's been brilliant in defense. Created that try as well. And his work rate today has been really outstanding. So for me, he really is the one who stood out. Randy Silva has been good on the wing, as has Chatura Dilshan been for CH. But unless you have a convincing argument to the contrary, my man of the match is Umesh Madhushan.
Yes, I don't think I can argue with that, Shanaka. You hit the nail on the head when you spoke about his work rate. I think that's what's been really pleasing, and the fact that he has played a full 80 minutes as well. And the rate says his work rate just hasn't decreased in any form. As we see Dilshan making a break from that scrum. CHNFC with another opportunity to just narrow this lead, which in all probability will be a consolation try. They've gone over, but looks like they will be held up once again. So some good desperate defense by Havelocks.
Malisha Madhubevan it is who comes away with the ball, and he's really good in those tight places, those dark places that most players don't like to go into. Malisha Madhubevan enjoys that stuff. Has to play in the second row as well. With CH having, or with Havelocks having lost Dilanka Pires.
Yes, you could just see there has been Fajudin inquiring from the referee whether this will be the final play of the game.
Dilshan, long ball out to Gayan Veeraratne. There's good defense on him in the end by Arya Pala. Here's Dilshan, good ball from him, and Nivanka Prasad falls over. A deserved try for the player who came off the bench, and great hands from Chatura Dilshan as well to spot the space. And in close quarters, those tries are difficult to get, those balls are difficult to get away. And he does brilliantly to set up his back row partner.
Yes, Nivanka Prasad has definitely had an impact on this game since he has come off from the bench. It's just that either side of the start of the game and the beginning of that second half, CH just seemed to go to sleep, isn't it, Shanak, and concede points. Just when their backs are against the wall, they seem to come back. But unfortunately for them, it's been a bit too late. In all probability, this will be the final kick of the game.
Well, it's a 2Ds, isn't it, for CH? Defense and discipline. That's where they found themselves lacking. They've conceded a few yellow cards, as many as Havelocks did, but in crucial parts of the game for them. And their defense in the opening moments is what they will really rue when they go back and watch this game again. And of course, the points left on the park in terms of conversions. It's difficult to blame Hirusha Sampath. They were not easy conversions. That one is easy enough for him, and that brings us to an end of the game today. 40 points to 37 is how it ends. 77 points scored in the game, so almost a point a minute. So really entertaining stuff here at Havelock Park in this night game, and night games bring you that quality, doesn't it, Abdullah? Despite the smoke today, the conditions much better for fast open rugby.
Absolutely, Shanak. You could just see that the players could last and keep that intensity going for much longer. It's been a really entertaining game, and whoever has come to Havelock Park today, other than for the smoke that we witnessed, it's been a wonderful atmosphere, and the quality of rugby has been of a reasonably good standard. And in terms of entertainment value, the way the game has fluctuated, I don't think from a spectator's point of view could ask for much more.
Well, I think we can say it was a smoking game, literally and metaphorically. 40 points to 37, Havelocks running out winners, managing to avoid just by 3 points, or 4 points rather, losing for 3 weeks in a row. That would have been unthinkable for this Havies team, who have done some good work in this season. And here are the highlights of the second half. Santosh Algama starting it off. And here's Shaukat Lahir. Watch how he just manages to defend or make the defenders rush up, lose their footing, and then attack the gap. Outstanding work from him, and the conversion was good. Here was Algama with another important kick. Just gave them a little bit of a cushion. Sampath drew them somewhat closer back. It was 30 points to 20 at this stage, and here's the break. Lahir just ghosting through that gap. In the end, Sudarshan Mutatantri got him, but here's Gayan Veeraratne left all alone in that first receiver channel. And Mithun Hapukoda scored his second try of the match for Santosh Algama to add another penalty to the score. And then, of course, CH with these 3 late tries, I should say. Rohit Rajapaksa going over, the captain. And then Warren Veerakone. Lovely body position there as he barges himself over. Difficult man to stop. And in the end, great hands from Chatura Dilshan there to Nivanka Prasad. Unselfish play as they see the try being scored, but just too little too late from CH. But it has been an absorbing game of rugby here, Abdullah.
Absolutely. Seen so many good tries, and it's held the spectators' attention right throughout. 7 tries to 4. Actually, 11 tries altogether, and all the CHNFC have been on the losing side. They've actually scored 3 more tries than Havelock Sports Club, which just shows the importance of discipline, isn't it, Shanaka?
Yes, it's the conversions column and the penalty column that have stacked up against CHNFC. Umesh Majuswamy with an outstanding performance in the second row for the Havelocks boys, and I thought his contribution was immense today as well. And that brings us to the end of tonight's broadcast. Thanks very much for joining us for this outstanding game of rugby. Don't forget, tomorrow we will have Navy taking on Kandy at Valisara, and on Sunday we will have Army hosting CRNFC also at Valisara. And next week we'll have some interesting games. Havelocks taking on Navy at Havelock Park, so that'll be the late kickoff. Police take on Army. That should be a very interesting game at Police as well. CH take on Air Force for the Battle of the Wooden Spoon, and Kandy take on Sia at Nittavala. That's going to be a grudge battle as well. So lots coming up next week. Don't forget to stay tuned to ThePapare.com as we bring you all the news and thrills and spills of this Dialog Rugby League action. From Abdullah Yusuf, myself and the rest of the Papare crew today, it's good night for now.
වෙඩින් එකට තාම හොටෙල් එකවත් බුක් කරලා නැහැනේ.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම් සුදු.
අලු සීට් එකක් දැම්ම නම් නරකයි.
දෙකින් දෙන්නම්. දෙකින් දෙන්නම්. දෙකින් දෙන්නම්. දෙකින් දෙන්නම්.
දෙකෙන් දෙන්න නම් දෙකෙන් ගන්න ඕනේ. Whatever the need, a Ceylon personal loan will be ready for you in just 2 days.
Ceylon personal loan? කිව්වා වගේම වැඩ.
Ceylon Bank, the bank with a heart.
The Six Nations, where emotion flows, pride bursts, and talent soars.
Wow, absolute wow.
Watch Six Nations on Rugby Pass TV.
A tradition that dates back over a century. Chaos that captures your heart and soul. An extravaganza you cannot miss. A new decade of familiar madness. March Madness 2020. Exclusive coverage on ThePapare.com.
අපි කමිටුවක් පත් කරනවා.